so it's that time. You just graduated pharmacy school, and maybe you're just trying to land a job, or maybe land a residency, and you just can't seem to land the opportunity, and you get rejected over and over and over again. If you want to know what you can do if you can't land a job or opportunity within pharmacy, make sure to watch this video. What's going on? My name is Kevin Yee, the PharmD. Before we start off today, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button to make sure you get all my pharmacy videos and all my tips about pharmacy and leaving pharmacy and all that. Do it right now. Anyways, today what I'm going to be talking about is what to do if you can't land a pharmacy job or residency. So chances are you probably applied everywhere, just like me back when I first graduated within pharmacy. Maybe you're not hearing back, or maybe you're going on these interviews and you're not seeing any opportunity. And the truth is, I don't blame you. If you take a look at the data, something very rare that I do on my channel, but if you take a look at the data, recently I pulled up the US Bureau of Labor statistics, and it says the employment of pharmacists is projected to grow 6% from 2016 to 2026, as fast as the average for all occupations. Increased demand for prescription medications will lead to more demand for pharmaceutical services. Sounds great and all, but if you really break it down, what is that 6% change? So if you take a look at the job market for 2016, there are currently about 312,000 jobs available. By 2026, that number is only expected to go up by 6%, which is 17,000. That means that there's only going to be 17,000 jobs from now and then. Now, that leads me to think, okay, how many students are even graduating per year? And right now, according to the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy, in 2016 to 2017, there's 14,502 first professional degrees in pharmacy that were rewarded. Meaning, unless I'm reading it wrong, that's about 14,000 students that graduated. So job market is really, really, really tough right now. So that is probably why you're not seeing results. And one of my really, really good friends, Alex Barker, says, you need to find ways to be indispensable. But how, right? And in today's video, I'm really going to go over 3 different ways how to compete in an already saturated market. Because chances are, if you're watching this video, you probably take your career seriously, because a lot of pharmacists, they probably don't watch YouTube. Like, you don't go YouTube for career advice, but you want a job, and I'm really here to kind of help you. And so today I'm going to cover 3 different ways to be indispensable. And I'm going to go from my least favorite to my favorite ways of doing it. Number 3 being my favorite, but don't skip to that, because I know a lot of you guys will. Make sure to watch the whole video just so that you get a baseline of all the different tactics that you can do. And before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Gotta put that shameless plug in, man. Just make sure that you do that. Anyways, the first thing that you should do is take jobs that no one else wants to do. And I'm not gonna lie, this is my least favorite one, because it requires the most amount of pain. So if you guys don't know my story, in 2013, I was trying to look for a job. And if you don't know the city called Boston, there's about 3 different pharmacy schools, maybe more now, but there were about 3 pharmacy schools that were pumping out pharmacists in that small state. I worked for this company called CVS Pharmacy for a long time, and I thought I was going to be guaranteed a job outside of graduation, after graduation. And when I did graduate, I never got a job offer. Why? Because, partially it was because like the district manager changed and I wasn't working that many hours, so I couldn't build a lot of rapport with her, right? But I can imagine her position too. It was just so saturated. I remember I was like, fuck, like loans are coming up soon. I need to find a way to pay off this debt. What can I really do? And I remember leaving an exam, because you see, like when you're in pharmacy school, you see everyone around you. Hey, I got this job opportunity. I'm applying to residency. I'm doing this. And I would walk around. I'm like, fuck, dude, like what the fuck do I have? And one of my friends was like, dude, we're all getting jobs in California. Come join us. It'll be really, really fun. And I mean, at the time, I really didn't want to move to LA or anything like that. But I was like, fuck it. Why not just throw a Hail Mary and just see what happens, right? And I actually did it, and I found a job out there in this place called, man, they promised me North LA, but then I ended up in this, not middle nowhere, but this place called Camarillo, which is really far, far, far out. But no one else wanted to be there, so I was there, right? And so I took that job. So that's how I got my first job, because no one else wanted to be there at that pharmacy. This also happened the second time where, you know, like I moved, like, since I was driving over 60 miles one way for that pharmacy job in Camarillo, I was like living in Whittier at the time. Man, holy crap. So I was looking for different jobs, and it was really just hard to find a staff position because I didn't want all the responsibility as a pharmacy manager. But then there was this really great opportunity that I thought at the time, and it was for a pharmacy manager. And it turns out they've been looking for a pharmacy manager for a long time. And so I was like, you know what? If I really want to make it work out, there needs to be some give and take, and I got to take this position that no one else wants to. And that's how I actually started working in Hollywood, LA as well. And I was working with I had a lot of interesting patients who were very, very famous, aspiring actors and all that. But that's my story of trying to get my first job. And I think if you take the job that no one else wants to do, that's one way, but it's not my favorite way, right? Second thing, I like this a lot more, but you want to create and connect relationships before you actually need something, right? And this is what I call the back door or third door. Think about it like almost like a nightclub, right? You're standing in line. If you go through the front door, you're standing in line with everyone else. You gotta wait a long time. You're not special. But imagine if you know a special homie with the homie hookup. Maybe it's the owner of the bar. Maybe it's a cool club promoter, right? And they're like, psst, Kevin, come back over here. That's the homie hookup. And that's what they can do for your job too. So when you're applying to residency or anything like that, if you know a residency director, or if you know certain people, sending an application is really just a formality, right? Is this cheating? No, because you put in the hard work to develop those relationships before you need something. And honestly, you should really just connect with people that you really like connecting with, not because you feel forced to as well. And honestly, these days you can connect with anyone on social media. One of my pharmacy mentees, he's actually been connecting with a lot of pharmacy directors using my strategies that I use for business all the time. And he's actually getting mentorships from there. Why? Because he eventually wants to be a pharmacy director one day. Let me ask you, are you more or less likely to be a pharmacy director when you know other pharmacy directors? I don't know, right? But, and I'm not trying to say experience doesn't matter. I'm not trying to say GPA doesn't matter. Honestly, in my opinion, I think GPA is useless. But it's not to say those are not important. But imagine if you had those relationships and that killer GPA and that killer resume, right? So imagine if you had both, right? And this is what I like to say. Friends plus credibility equals stability. Friends plus credibility equals stability. All right. So that is the second way that I like to do stuff. And what's really funny is that I use this exact strategy to get a recommendation from a rear admiral for the public health service. Why did I go into public health service since I had a really, really high recommendation? Well, you know, things change. I wanted to do business all of a sudden, and I had an opportunity to live with some YouTube stars, man. All right, the third. So you're probably wondering, what is the third thing? And before I go into it, another shameless plug. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and make sure to hit the bell. Shameless plug. But seriously, my third favorite thing is writing a proposal before your interview. You know, face it. Put yourself in a recruiter's point of view. Maybe you're a PDM, pharmacy district manager or something, or maybe you're a residency director. at the end of the day, most people really don't care about resumes and cover letters and CVs. What do businesses really care about? Can you help them fix their problems or focus on their problems? I want to ask you this. Imagine if you could research the problems of a certain pharmacy or a certain residency site and kind of anticipate the problems beforehand. And then before you go on your interview, you kind of lay out the scope of work, the solutions that you can do, and connect how you can solve your problems. Isn't that really powerful? Right? So one of the things that I did, and to kind of continue that story that I did in 2014 when I got to work in Hollywood as a pharmacist, was that I actually looked up that pharmacy. I looked up all their Yelp reviews. I got all their competition, what their competition was doing differently from what they were doing, and what were their current patients complaining about ahead of time. Now, is it completely accurate? Not necessarily, but it shows that you went the extra mile, that you're anticipating problems, that you are a problem solver. It's one thing to really say that, hey, I'm a problem solver, I can do all this. Like, honestly, it's another thing when you anticipate it before. Guaranteed, if you do this, you will stand out from the crowd, because I have not heard another pharmacist do the same thing. Well, other than the ones that probably are going to do it now after saying this, right? And finally, here's the truth. Pharmacy is getting a lot more competitive, and there's a good chance that a lot of you guys might feel trapped. Like, you guys feel like you have to do pharmacy. My goal really is to free 100 pharmacists by the end of this year out of pharmacy and help people transition out of it, because I think it's going to A, help those people who really want to do pharmacy, and B, I think a lot of time there's a lot of pharmacists who, maybe their parents kind of forced them into it or something like that. And we can be doing something so much bigger. And for those people with that bigger ambition, I kind of want to introduce you to different entrepreneurs that, or business models that can help you transition out of pharmacy. I want to interview pharmacists that are into entrepreneurship that can help transition you out. So if you like this, make sure to check out my 2 podcasts, my pharmacy podcast, probably going to name it the Red Pill Pharmacy Podcast, and the Entrepreneur Next Door. So make sure to check those out. Again, watch those videos if you're feeling trapped in pharmacy, and good luck. Let me know how this goes for you. It's really worked for me. I just want to share my experience about that's how I land internships and all that. This works for anything, regular jobs, internship, residency, or anything like that. Because guess what? Business or getting opportunities is really a relationship type of business, man. So try that. I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Peace.